Hi everyone, it's Tamara here with another card making tutorial. This week I was actually inspired by the current MFT sketch challenge, and I've decided to make this card using the Birthday Buds stamp set from MFT. I'll be doing some Copic colouring of the images and then a card making tutorial. I love getting inspired by sketch challenges, as sometimes when you're in a little bit of a lull and you can't get any ideas, sometimes sketch challenges really help open up some ideas for you. So when I saw this sketch challenge, I immediately thought of 3 clouds in the sky. So I've used my La La Land Crafts dies, and I've cut out 3 clouds into my front panel. Now I'm going to do some faded out ink blending underneath to make the clouds kind of come up from a darker blue to a lighter blue. So I'm just marking out with my pencil roughly where I want my darker color to start, and then obviously blending up into the white so it fades it out. So I just use the front panel just to make sure that I'm getting the color where I need it. And then I'll do the same on the other 2 openings as well as I work through. So we'll just go down to the bottom, put some ink on them. I'm just using tumbled glass. Now I've grabbed out my Misty and a scrap piece of Copic XPress blending cardstock, and I'm going to be using the bunny with the balloon, the sheep with the balloon, and the 2 birds for my card. So I've put them into my Misty, and just using my Memento Tuxedo black ink, which works really well with Copics, I'm just going to stamp those out. Now I'll pop on some music while I do the colouring and then come back with the rest of the card making tutorial. I've grabbed out my coordinating dies and just using either washi tape or purple tape, I'm just going to tape the dies down to my images just to make sure they don't move when I take them through the die cutting machine. If you are using washi tape for the first time, I just suggest touching it with your fingers to take off any extra stickiness. Now once I'd cut out my images and had my white pen on the front, I just thought it was a little bit plain in just the white with the clouds cut out. So what I've decided to do is just do some ink blending using my Distress Oxides in Speckled Egg, Stormy Sky and Chipped Sapphire. I just thought that might just allow those images to pop a little bit more with an ink blended background. I'm using my dome sponge applicators to do my ink blending, and I'm just being very careful around my cloud cutouts. Normally I would do the ink blending before doing any cutting out, but obviously I decided to change halfway through. So I found it better to do where you needed to do the ink blending, just make sure it was away from where your cutouts are. And thankfully I was very gentle and I didn't cause any damage to my card front. But yeah, just be very careful around your openings if you do it the same way that I have. So I'm just working in circular motions back and forth to make sure I'm happy with the blend. And I've grabbed a piece of scrap paper just to make sure I don't get any fingerprints on my panel, and just spraying it with my sprayer and wiping off the excess water with my paper towel. I wanted to add some extra splatters, so I've actually grabbed out some white acrylic paint and put that on my glass mat and just sprayed a bit of water from my spray bottle onto it. I have actually put way too much paint on there, so just be mindful and only put a small amount and plenty of water on it so that it splatters a lot easier than what I had. I'll be using one of the sentiments from the set, so I've grabbed out a piece of black cardstock, and because I haven't used that sentiment before, I've just given it a rub just to get rid of any particles that might be sitting on it and just make it easier to stamp. So I've prepped my cardstock and I'm just using my Versamark Watermark ink to put 2 layers of ink on there, and that will grab the white heat embossing powder really well. So I just tap off the excess, and then using my piece of folded A4 paper, I can put that straight back into my container. I've preheated my heat gun, and we'll just get that sentiment all nice and melted. And then before I cut it out, I will just wipe it with my wiping cloth, and just make sure you allow it time to dry before you do that. I've used my sentiment banner to cut out my sentiment, and because I just want one end to be sitting next to the side of my card, I'm just going to trim that end off, so you don't need the 2 banner ends. I'm now going to just put glue on the back of my front panel to go on the front. You can put foam tape if you'd like as well, but I've decided just to lay this flat. And as you can see, I have actually laid the bottom card upside down, so none of that blue is showing through, and I'm just working that out. So I actually ended up having to rip that front panel off. Thankfully, I noticed before my card had my glue had dried, and I've redone that background panel off screen, but in the exact same way as I did earlier in the video. And this time I have it up the right way, so you can see that blue underneath coming up. I've pre-cut and scored a white card base, and I'll have all the measurements in the description box below. And I'm just again going to just glue my card front directly to my card base, just leaving a white border around each side, and give that a good press down. Now I'm going to now use my foam tape to just pop up all my images and my sentiment. So I'm just using XPress foam tape today, and I'm just putting a few amounts on the back of all my images, just so that they stay nice and propped up once I've attached them to my card. And we'll make sure we do the 2 little birds. And then I'll get rid of all the release paper off the back of all my images and my sentiment. And just be careful as you do this, as you'll see soon. I get everything stuck to my fingers and have a little bit of fun trying to get that off. I've grabbed my tweezers, and I'm just going to pop all the images on the front, just around those clouds to kind of draw your eye to both the clouds and also the images. And we'll just pop the two little birds down the bottom and pop that other one down. And then we'll get our sentiment attached right to the right hand side in the middle there. So make sure it's all lined up and give that a press. And this is the finished card for today. This sketch challenge, as I said, sometimes when you see a sketch challenge, you just can picture the card that you want to make straight away, which is what happened in this case. This was so fun to make, and it came together really quickly, and these images are just so cute and fun to color up. I hope you've enjoyed this card making tutorial. If you have, please hit the like button and leave a comment. And if you'd like to see any future videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.